When it comes to stopping drinking, most people make a tremendous amount of mistakes. But actually, it only really boils down to about 4 critical mistakes that people make that actually cause most relapses. See, I've made mistakes in my life, and I've made mistakes as a non-drinker. But the most important thing is the mistakes that I've made haven't led me back to alcohol. So I haven't drank now for 6 years after 10 years of trial and error, of messing up my life and all that nonsense that comes with drinking. I tried for 10 years, and for the past 6 years, I have not had a drop. But there were really 4 mistakes that really held me back for such a long time. So today in this video, we're going to break each of the mistakes down, and most importantly, I'm going to give you concrete steps on how to overcome each of these mistakes. This video could be the video that completely transforms your relationship with alcohol. It could change your life forever. Can't wait to share this with you. And just before we actually get into the video, if you want to access a free video training that shows you a new method to getting control of your drinking, then go ahead and click the link in the description. You'll put your name and email address in, and then a new video will start playing. And this is a video that I don't publish anywhere else. It's not published on YouTube. I can't publish it here. So the only way you can get access to this video training is clicking the link in the description, putting your name and email address in, and then a completely new video will start playing. Thousands of people have watched that video. It is a game changer, so you definitely want to check that out after finishing this video. But now let's get into the mistakes. So the very first mistake is, it's hard for me to break this down because somebody that's very close to me believes that this is true, and it's completely false. So to kind of break this down a little bit more, when I first tried to stop drinking alcohol and stop taking drugs, because I did take drugs back in the day, I went to 12-step meetings. I went to AA, I went to NA, and I went for about 3 months, and then I started drinking again and doing whatever again, and then I went back and I, kind of went back and forth for a little bit. But here I was told that I need to find out if I'm an addict, if I'm an alcoholic, right? If I've got this disease of addiction. And I remember going there, and if you ever read the criteria of AA, in fact, what I can do is I can find the document down below. I'm going to link to it, but what I urge you to do is click on it. And if you read it carefully, pretty much anybody could go and read the definition of a AA's term of an alcoholic, and most people could be deemed as an alcoholic. I don't think there's many drinkers that could go through that and not say yes to some of the questions. So there's this very vague criteria. It's not a medical diagnosis. It's a self-help criteria that's, no doctor would ever say that this is a good way of diagnosing somebody with alcohol use disorder. There's actual criteria that a doctor would use, and then they wouldn't label you an alcoholic. Anyway, I'm going a little bit too far ahead. Let me bring it back. So the idea and the mistake that people make is that they think that they are the problem. And what I mean is that they think that they've got some different genes, that they've got some different addictive personality, that they're born this way. They look at their parents and they think, well, my dad's this way, my mum's this way, my grandma's this way. Oh, that must be the reason why I'm this way as well. And what everybody does is they blame themselves instead of blaming the drug. How many people actually blame alcohol and the media and, the way that alcohol's portrayed? Well, that's not really what society does. What we do is we blame the individual. Oh, it's not alcohol. Alcohol's not the problem here. It's that person. They don't know how to control it. They're the problem. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But I think what people like to do is that they like to point their finger at people that can't control their drinking because they want to keep drinking alcohol. They don't want to question the drug. So rather than having this societal debate of actually looking at alcohol and looking at alcohol companies and thinking, wait a minute, this is just a complete scam. Instead of doing that, we point the finger at people that go overboard and we'll label them the problem instead. I wanted to let you know that if you buy into that philosophy, whatever, listen, my mum does that. She thinks she's the problem. I don't think she's the problem. I don't think I'm the problem. I don't think you're the problem. And you do not need to give yourself these labels of being an addict or an alcoholic to stop drinking. What you need to do is solve your relationship with the drug, fix your mindset, see that drug for what it is, and get it out of your life. Because miraculously, once you do that, all your problems melt away. So that's the first mistake, is seeing yourself as the problem. You ain't the problem. There's nothing wrong with you. If you want help reshifting your beliefs around alcohol, then again, click that link in the description to watch that video training that I mentioned earlier. But listen, you ain't the problem here. The second mistake that I see people make is that when they stop drinking alcohol is, let's say a friend gives them a call, says, do you want to go out? Do you want to go to this place, that place? They avoid alcohol like the plague. And the reason why this is such a big mistake is because what we don't want to do is start feeling like we've actually given something up. The people that stop drinking and stay stopped, but most importantly, they're happy about not drinking alcohol, is they don't feel like they've actually given anything up. You're thinking, what, Leon, what are you on about? What I mean is that when I stopped drinking alcohol, I didn't feel like I'd made a sacrifice. And what I mean by this is I didn't feel like I was giving up something that added value to my life. And the reason why is because I read a lot, I read many books, I read studies, I read things, and I shifted my belief to stop seeing alcohol as something that added value to my life. So to not drink was a logical, easy decision. I removed the emotional charge that alcohol had on me for 10 years, and I was able just to kind of say, I don't want this anymore. And what most people do is they never actually get to the root cause of the problem, which is the conditioning, which is how we've been led to believe that alcohol is something that adds value in our life. Nobody gets to the root cause of the problem, so every time they try and stop drinking, it's always this feeling of giving something up. So how can they go to a bar and sit around a bunch of people drinking alcohol, having a laugh and talking and whatever? How can they go and sit there and feel comfortable? Well, the answer is they can't. So they spend their life hiding and, not going to certain places, not seeing certain people. And listen, I'm not saying that I'm around people that drink a lot, right? Most of my friends don't really drink anymore. But if I go and get an invite to somewhere that's, got some people there that I want to meet, and I know that there's going to be a lot of booze and it's a nightclub and whatever, I don't care. I'm still going to go. I'm still going to have a good time. It makes no difference because I've got myself into the right state of mind. I'm not afraid to be around alcohol because I'm not afraid to be around any substance because I don't want to take the substance. The third mistake. This is going to sound also a little bit strange. And in fact, I'm going to look like I'm contradicting myself. My channel is called Sober Leon. When people say like, oh, do you want to drink? I'm just like, no, I don't drink. What I don't do is I don't go, I don't drink, man. I'm a recovering, drinker that's had a drinking problem for 10 years. Sure, listen, I share that story online because there's a certain kind of person that wants to hear this message, right? Somebody like you that's trying to change their relationship with alcohol. I'll share everything with you. But when I go out into the world and meet new people and go to a dinner or whatever, I ain't introducing myself as a sober person. I don't identify with not drinking alcohol. And I'll tell you why. To me, not drinking alcohol is not an achievement. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm not trying to say like, you shouldn't be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself. To me, stopping drinking is really like the first step. Nobody stops drinking alcohol just because they want to not drink and change nothing about their life. Usually people stop drinking because their health's not like it was before, the relationship isn't the way that they want it to be, their business, their career's not taking off the way they want it to, and we have reasons why we want to stop drinking. I remember when I stopped drinking alcohol, man, I was like working in a restaurant, I'd run out of money, I'd destroyed a business, I'd destroyed my relationship with my girlfriend at the time, I'd destroyed everything in my life, and when I stopped drinking alcohol, I wanted more for my life. And I knew that stopping drinking really meant nothing. It was just, okay, now I'm not living life with a massive handicap anymore. I'm not walking around and trying to, achieve things with this massive pile of bricks behind me. I'd let go of the bricks, that was it, put that behind me and go. And what I didn't do is I didn't identify with being a sober person. Because again, doing that goes back to this idea that you've given something up that was hard to give up, which is why you identify with being sober. There is nothing difficult about giving up alcohol. It's the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, and it was as easy as taking a walk in a park. And you might not be there right now, so you might be thinking, whatever I just said was complete nonsense, but trust me, if you stick on this path of reframing your beliefs, using first principles thinking, you will get there as well. But I don't identify with being a sober person because I don't want to create any feeling of missing out. Now, the fourth mistake is the biggest one of all, and it's something that I did for 10 years. Every single time I tried to get control of my drinking, stop drinking alcohol, I did exactly that. I tried. And what I didn't do for 10 years, and the reason why I kept slipping up and kept going back to drinking, is because I never made a decision. I never truly decided enough is enough. I'm getting this out of my life. I'm never looking back. I never made that decision. I was always afraid to make the decision. So I just tried, right? Oh, I'm going to try and stop drinking. I'm going to try for a week. No, I'm just going to try and drink less. Listen, every single time I tried and stopped drinking alcohol, it was a punch in the face. It never worked. And the only way that you can get this out of your life is making a decision. And when I say a decision, I mean a true cutoff point, a point where you're deciding, I'm not doing this anymore. You put it behind of you, you do whatever it takes to solve the problem, you just fix it and then move on with your life. Because I'm telling you, stopping drinking ain't hard, it's easy. If you want help doing it, go to soberclear.com. You can learn more about the coaching program that I run. And if you click the link in the description, again, you can watch that training video, which I cannot recommend enough. Have a great day.